Hello and welcome to Tommy Talks TV, the place to be to build great love relationships. I'd like to start by saying a very big thank you. Thank you for all your likes and your shares and your comments on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. I really appreciate you because they're helping us spread the message further, faster. So thank you very much indeed. Now, today I'm going to be answering one of your questions, and it's a very simple one that I've received in various forms and fashions from lots of different people. So essentially it's this: how do I know when a man is ready for marriage? So I thought I would share with you 4 tips that I think are indicators when a man is really serious about a relationship and is ready for marriage. The first of them is that he is constantly available to you. So what that means is this: when you ring him or when you text him, he responds as soon as possible. He tries to respond as soon as possible without unnecessary delays. And he also tries to keep in touch with you when you're apart, because that's an indicator that he is constantly thinking about you. So if you're in a relationship with someone that frequently disappears for no reason at all, and then doesn't turn up for a couple of weeks and then suddenly reappears again, then that's an indication that maybe he's not that much invested in the relationship. Now, the second is this: a man that is seriously considering marriage to you would not be afraid to share his plans with you. So he will constantly want to bring you into his plans, his vision, his ideas for the future, and he will also seek your opinion. So he'll be interested in knowing what you think about the plans that he's making for the future, because that means that he's beginning to see you as a part of that future, and he's interested in what your views are regarding how he shapes his future. Now, the third one, and this is also very crucial, is that a man who is considering marriage will be excited to be associated with you. So what that means is this: he will want to shout about the relationship. He would love to introduce you to his friends, those that mean a lot to him. He will be prepared to introduce you to his family, because if you've been in a relationship with someone for a considerable length of time and they want to keep it secret, they don't want their friends to know, they don't want their family to know, then that might be an issue. Obviously, at the initial stages of a relationship, you might both still be trying to check in your hearts whether you actually believe this is for real or not. But when you're actually considering marriage, that's the time when you really want people to know that you're associated with each other. So a man that really is thinking about marriage to you will be prepared to let other people know that he's in a relationship with you. And then the fourth thing that you need to consider is a man that is considering marriage will be committed to you. So what that means is he's committed to you and the relationship. So he does everything that he can to try to make the relationship work. He doesn't leave it all to you. And when there are issues in the relationship, he tries to see that things are resolved, and it's not just down to you to resolve issues. So sometimes you find in a relationship that anytime there's an issue or there's a conflict, maybe the man just expresses doubts about the relationship itself. If that's what constantly happens in your relationship, then it may well be that he's not convinced about the relationship. So ultimately, at the end of the day, you need to be looking for somebody who is committed to you and is invested in that relationship. There's no point spending years and years and years hanging on in a relationship with someone who doesn't seem to be prepared to make the next move. Now, today I'm going to be talking to you about what I have titled "How to Know When You Are Ready for Marriage." Now, a short while ago, I did a video on how to know when someone else is ready for marriage, but this is focusing on you. So there are 3 tips I'd like to share with you today that will help you know whether or not you're actually prepared for marriage. And the first of them is this: you are ready for marriage when you realize that marriage is not the solution to your problems. Now, that is cause for you to pause for thought. Many times when people are desiring to get married, or they're planning to get married, or they're hoping to get married, they have this mindset that marriage will solve all their problems. As soon as I get married to the right person, the right man or the right woman, all my problems will magically disappear. But you see, that is not an idea that is based in reality. If you ask any married person, they will tell you that the reality about marriage is this: marriage is actually a growth opportunity. It presents you with new problems so that you can grow and become somebody completely different, you know. So marriage is an opportunity for you to learn how to negotiate. If you've never had to negotiate, you know, with someone on how you spend your time, how you spend your money, what you do with your body, all of a sudden you've got to negotiate. You know, you've got to learn, you know, how to bend to somebody else's desires. You've got to learn how to, you know, consider someone else before yourself. So marriage is not the solution to your problems. When people get married with the mindset that marriage will solve all their problems, then they usually run into trouble very early in marriage because they are disillusioned by what the reality of marriage presents to them. So that's the first thing. Now, the second way that you know when you're actually ready for marriage is this. You are ready for marriage when you are more interested in what you can give than what you can get. So anyone who, you know, is the center of their own universe, you know, their life is all about them. It's about what I can get. It's not about what I can give. That sort of person is not ready for marriage. You see, people who are takers, who are fundamentally interested in what they can get out of a relationship, usually do not make the best of marriage. They tend to make a wreck of marriage because, you see, marriage is all about what you can give. What are you bringing to the table? It's about being more interested in someone else than you are in yourself. So unless you have come to the, you know, to a point in your life where you recognize that you're not the center of your universe and you're prepared to pour out your life for someone else, you're not yet ready for marriage. So that's the second thing that you need to recognize. You cannot be the center of your own universe if you want to get married and, you know, enjoy your marriage and be successful at marriage. Now, the third thing that you need to be considering, or the third way that you will recognize that you're actually prepared for marriage, is when you realize that you are ready to wait on God for as long as it takes. Now, that's not a very easy thing to do, but you see, until you get to the point where you're prepared to do it God's way, you're not yet ready for marriage. If your desire to get married, outweighs your desire to do things God's way, then you're not yet ready for marriage. So you must be prepared. You must have come to a point in your life where you're prepared to do it. You take as long as it will take until you get married God's way. Because otherwise, if you're prepared to chop and change, if you're prepared to compromise your values because you want to get married, then marriage has become an idol. And then, because anything that, you know, sort of like takes the place of God in your life has become an idol. And that is actually an indication that you're not prepared to get married yet. Well, I hope this has helped you. If this has helped you, then please leave me a message on Facebook or Twitter. And if you've got a question you would like me to answer, then head on over to tommytalks.com/ask and I'll answer your question next time. See you next time. Bye-bye.